Options One channel. I want to first apologize for not making videos the last little bit. I had posted on StockTwits that I wouldn't be making any videos. I had an extremely long drive, and that's exactly what I did. I had an extremely long drive, and I'm back. I have been back for a few days, but I really haven't had time to make any videos. So I did make a little money last week. It wasn't a lot. I think it was a little bit over $100. I didn't write it down. I really didn't keep up with it. If you've noticed behind me, I have erased the board, and then I'll stand up and go over my most recent trades from last week, and then I'll try to keep you guys updated to the best of my ability. Just remember, everything will always be just a little bit delayed. Sorry, my eye's itching. I'll try to get my videos up as quickly as I make my trades, you know, usually by the end of the day, stuff like that. I like to share all of my trades. Hope everybody had a great Valentine's Day. My wife and I went and watched Captain America, A Brave New World. And despite what the reviews say about that movie, I really enjoyed it. It's a good flick. Yeah, anyway, just throwing that in there. Now, those of you that are here for the options trade, of course, you know, I try to set this up to where I make a little money each month, and that's the whole goal, you know. Options One for a recurring income, and I want you guys to think about that as a recurring income. So I try to make a little money each week. Of course, some weeks I lose money. Most months I usually make money. It's pretty rare that I lose money for the month. That's usually an anomaly. And the way that I set my trades up are I set them up to where as long as there's not a really big move up or down, usually my trades do very well. It's when the unexpected moves happen. Now, Thursday we got just a little bit of news, and then Friday the stock made a rather large move, which really surprised me. You know, it was up 6, 7, 8%. And that really surprised me. I was expecting for SOFI to end Friday, you know, February the 14th. I was expecting it to end around the 15-ish, give or take, you know, 50 cents on either side. And it broke above the 16 mark. So without further ado, I'll stand up and I'll go over my trades for last week, show you what I made, and tell you my thought process for going into next week. Alright guys, so let's go over the trade from this past week, and I'll walk you through my thought process and, you know, just how things are going for me. What I decided to do last week was I had 400 shares that I was going to sell calls on. And I don't care if those shares get called away from me. And the stock went up so much that it didn't make any sense at all to buy anything back and resell calls. So I'll walk you through my thought process. On February the 10th, I sold to open 3 1550 calls at 0.29, and I collected $87. I thought going into Wednesday and Thursday that these were going to be perfectly safe. But Friday really surprised me. We got that big uptick Friday, and that shocked me. I didn't expect to close over 16 on Friday, but we did, and that's fine. Here on February the 10th, I also sold to open one $15 call at 0.56. So I made $56. So, you know, you can add this up. I made the 87 plus the 56. So that's what I made for this week. That's 100% return. You really cannot lose money selling calls. You can lose potential, but you can't lose money. That money's mine. It's collected. Okay, it's in the bank. So that's a positive week. And the way that I structure my trades is I set my trades up to where I try to make money every week. Of course, you don't make money every week. There's some weeks you're just going to lose money because no one can predict the really big swings. So a really big swing down, a really big swing up, that tends to disrupt the way that I set up my trades. Now, if I knew it was going to do that, that's easy. But nobody can call that. I mean, you just can't wake up, you know, Thursday morning and say, hey, Friday, tomorrow, SOFI is going to go up 8% and know that for a fact. It's impossible. So I was thinking that these two calls would expire 100% worthless, and I would just turn right back around and sell calls. But they didn't expire worthless. The person that purchased these calls from me, the insurance, if you will, they did very well. They were able to buy shares for $15.50, and they were able to buy shares for $15. But at the same time, I collected the premium, and I'm collecting this money. So that money was transferred back into my brokerage account this morning. You know, I woke up this morning to get an alert that that had happened. So I collected this money times 3, and this money times 1. You know, that's $1,500. It's $1,550 times 3. So then I'll turn right back around and I'll sell puts against that money. So the revolving door, if you will, the wheel of progress, if you will, you really don't worry about this in the sense that your shares get called away. I don't. Now, the reason I don't worry about that is I always set it up with a ratio. And my ratio in my mind, it's just up here, is something that I came up with. It's something that you'll never read in a book or anything like that. I simply set it up to where it's basically a 1 for 3. So if you have 300 shares, you sell 1 call. If you have 900 shares, you could sell 3 calls. You just set it up like that, and that has served me very well. Now, unfortunately, for those of you that maybe have watched some of other videos, I've mentioned it from time to time. I'm sorry, my eye's itching off. I got wrecked investing in Fisker. I had a tremendous amount of money there, had a tremendous amount of shares, and my plan was just, you know, as long as the company survived, I would make a killing selling calls and puts there. But unfortunately, that company went bankrupt, and I knew the risk going into it. I was just willing to take that shot. So I don't have a very large position in SOFI. I do have 1,000 shares of control. I have 400 shares of control, so I have 10 leaps. I have 4 calls, and then I had 400 shares that I was working with to sell calls again. So since this week, since the stock price closed at what, I don't know, 16.20, 16.10, whatever it closed at, it makes no sense at all to buy these back to sell future calls. It makes no sense at all to buy this back and sell future calls. It's too expensive. So you just let these get called, and then I'll turn right back around Monday, at some point Monday, and I'll do another video that evening after I get home. I'll just turn right back around and I'll sell puts with this money. Unfortunately, I'll be just a hair shy of selling 4. I'll only be able to sell 3, but that's fine. Hopefully I'll make, you know, a little over $100 more next week. So eventually, I'm looking at like 5 years from now. Eventually, instead of making, you know, $150 a week or $100 a week, I'm hoping to 5 or 10x that and be making $500 a week, $1,000 a week, stuff like that. Now, that's going to be a process for me because everything that I'm doing has been built up from ground zero. Everything that you see over here on this wall, and I haven't updated those percentages since we were up around the $18, $19 mark. So those percentages would definitely be different. Those are all paid for with the money that I have made by doing this. So it's options 1 for a recurring income. And I want you to keep that in your mind, that you're not trying to kill it here. You're not going for the grand slam. You're just going for the easy money. You're trying to make money each week. There'll be weeks you lose money, but you look at it for the month. How did you do for the month? If you're up for the month, score to win, and that's good. If you're down for the month, question what went wrong and address that. And like I said, I set my trades up to where as long as there is not a really big uptick, uptick or a really big downtick, I'm talking like a 10% move. As long as there's not a 10% move during the week, I set my trades up to where, it's pretty much easy money most of the time. So if you are enjoying my content, just like and subscribe. If you have questions and you want me to do a particular video over a certain thing, or you just have questions, just reach out to me on my channel on YouTube, and which of course that's where you're watching this, and I'll try to address it. Thanks for joining in. I hope everybody's having a great time, and until next time.